or ridicule, whichever comes first.
Okay, let's get Greg on the record here.
Yes.
I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna stop talking.
6:38, so respect for time, I'll go ahead and start the meeting, formally start the meeting for March 19th, 2022 for the Oceano Advisory Council. First thing on the agenda, we have the roll call, so I'll start with myself, Aline Villa, Chair present. Councilmember Varney.
Here.
Council member alternate to Lucia Casanovo, Bonnie Ernst, absent. Karen White is no longer with us. I think everybody saw the email. She stepped down from the council the day of our last meeting, so she's no longer.
Sounded a little more ominous there.
Councilmember Dury.
Here.
Okay. Next, we have the flag salute. Would someone like to lead on the flag salute?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next on our agenda, we have public comment for items not on the agenda, and it's public comment for items not on the agenda. So we don't have any public, but I mean, does anybody have any comments not on the agenda
Get down.
or anything? Okay. We have guest reports next on our agenda. So we do have the commander here. So take it away, Commander Klindenberg.
Okay, I will. A couple of things. When did you change to 6:30? Has it been a few months since you've done that, or?
You're the first. You're fine.
Okay,
You're
I had
fine.
5:30. I've had 5:30 on my.
Yeah, and
Right.
I
Yeah,
apologize for that. I didn't inform you, but yeah, you're fine. You didn't miss any of our meetings.
Okay, well, good. One of the reasons I said that is I had set up at my office for our 5:30 meeting, and this is going to be a long apology. And I had the stack of crashes and incidents for the month. And when I got on and saw that it was at 6:30, I went, oh crud. So I packed up my stuff and I came home and I left my stack there. Now, that being said, what I do remember is that we had 5 collisions in Oceano and 1 DUI arrest, well, 2 DUI arrests, because one of the collisions was a DUI collision. I also remember that 2 of the collisions were on Highway 1 in the vicinity of Halcyon. One was the solo vehicle DUI rollover collision. None of the collisions were injuries of significance for sure. All of them were, the ones that did have injuries were minor injuries. One of them did happen, I remember, because it was in a unique place, the alley on 23rd Street.
Wow.
Motorcycle. I think basically the motorcycle just used slow speed and just tipped over and got a scrape or 2. Other than that, I'm not remembering specifics other than the overall numbers of what we had for the month. And then I had one more quick question. I also saw that you're meeting twice a month. Is that correct?
Yes, but your report is on this Thursday.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that I'm coming to the correct one and things like that. Okay.
We're trying to do in-house stuff so that it doesn't take up staff of any sort's time,
Okay.
county or sheriff or anybody.
Okay. All right. Well, I won't change it other than I will move my time to 6:30, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And
So
one more.
The DUI wasn't serious then? None of these?
It was not. It was a rollover, but the injuries were not serious, and it was a solo person in the vehicle, and we just end up arresting. It was a female. We arrested her for DUI.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I read your article today, Mr. Varney, in the Cal Coast News. Is that? I don't know if this is appropriate time to ask, but I'm going to ask anyway. Did you know that there was not going to be support from the county before earlier this week, or is this something that you've known about for a while, or just come?
No, this just was basically the rug was pulled out from underneath us on Tuesday.
Okay.
We had a green light from the county a year ago. I mean, I had, and they've been kept in the loop. But I think that there was some breakdown on our side in terms of the Council of Governments. I think that probably we should have had a couple of more specific outreaches to them, to the county, about like, here's exactly where it's at. Where are you guys tracking with us?
Mhm.
But no, it was a shock a massive shock to everyone.
Sure.
And the really hard part, Greg, is in terms of, I mean, I was over at Oceano Elementary School today talking about a traffic safety thing and needing a crosswalk at Vista and 19th Street. And actually your name came up where we met with, what's his, Michael Britton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
The retired traffic guy for the county. Sure.
He's working with Caltrans now.
Oh,
But,
okay.
he said to tell you hi.
Very good.
I said, I'm going to see him probably real quick. Yeah, so it's just kind of the heartbreak for the people of Oceano who have a hard time trusting that the county's going to do anything for them from the get-go, because nothing's happened for a long time. And, I was really partly the cheerleader for it, saying, well, this is a different year. I mean, the things are aligned better for us. There's more money. There's more sensitivity to the fact we're a disadvantaged community. And I think we really have a good shot at it. And we do. I mean, our grant hits all the crosses it checks every box, meets every criteria, and the feedback that I'm getting from state officials is like, we really want to see this grant. So the county that just they said, oh, we really didn't really know that this was really coming through, and oh, we need to do needs assessments, like comparing Shandon and San Miguel to Oceano and who has needs. And I mean, honestly, in this meeting yesterday, I was biting my tongue most of the time because I just wanted to let them have it. But at 77, I'm mature.
I was telling Greg, if only he worked in a bureauratry and understood how difficult it is to try to get things accomplished.
Sure. Well, I mean, I don't know. Not that I'm in a position of influence, but I'm certainly in a position of being able to ask questions. I meet with SLOCOG monthly. And I don't know, I know that what I understand about SLOCOG is that they make recommendations to the Board of Supervisors. And did they make the recommendation?
They have, the SLOCOG has quite a bit of independence. I mean, all the transportation money for the county from state, federal sources comes into SLOCOG, and Caltrans sits at the table. The Board of Soup sat at the table, a representative from every, so it's a big group. And all we need from the county is for them to sign off that basically if we get the money, they'll build it and then they'll maintain it. And I mean, this is like not any new information for the county, right?
Right.
And the John Waddell, the head of Public Works, told me back in July, I mean, when I had very specific talk with him, he said, okay, well, you bring me a project that is fully funded. It's got a certified engineered cost analysis, and
did all that.
We'll come on board.
And
so that was, I mean, it was an ear to ear deal, but John, they've been in the loop from day one. So they're still, so this Monday, and this is just, might as well just hear the report. I'm going to give the.
I'm sorry. I
that's cool.
No, it's okay.
So the head of SLOCOG, Pete Rogers, is, and Lynn Compton called this meeting. So Lynn Compton, Pete Rogers, head of SLOCOG, and John Waddell, head of Public Works, are meeting Monday, and Lynn is pushing for them to approve submitting the grant. Now, what the guy at SLOCOG that I've been working with, who's on the grant writing team, said is, oh, we've lost like 4 or 5 days now, and it's due June 15th. So I don't know, and I've done my half of the work, my half of the grant. I've written that up, and so there's now, but I did the easy stuff. I did all the community outreach engagement, that kind of history. They've got to get all the engineering and all of that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's time to do that.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but FLOCOG did commit to, in the next cycle of grants, they will carry this grant forward.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a kick the can down the road, but it seems to be a committed kick.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, sidewalks, there's not even a discussion about whether sidewalks make sense from a highway patrol perspective.
Exactly.
It's easy. It's an easy safety thing. So if, I'm not, like I said, I'm not in a position of influence, but I can ask questions. And if anybody asks questions of us, we certainly support that for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like well, there's a lot I don't understand, but I mean, at least it sounds like you have Board of Soup's support on it.
Lynn Compton is the essential one. I mean, it's her district.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, were you had left the meeting, I think, when I
I skated out of there pretty quick.
Right. But I had I actually so I did this, shared this story at Vaco. I mean, it was right. I just come out of the other meeting, right?
Yeah.
And I said to the supervisor that I said, you may not know about this, Supervisor Compton, but here's what happened to date. I mean, they pulled the rug out, said they're not going to sign off on it. And we've been working a year on this. And it would be, we really need you to stand up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good.
And she has.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Any ear you find to be receptive, Greg, we would appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem at all. Like I said, I'm trying to remember, and I don't off the top of my head them specifically talking about this grant at SLOCOG. I remember they talk about grants on a regular basis, but
Right.
the specific one hasn't been discussed. And well, I shouldn't say that for sure. I don't remember that it was discussed ever specifically. This would be something that I would pique my interest, but for a number of reasons. Number one, it's sidewalks and it's safe from a highway patrol perspective. And as you all know, I live here in Oceano. So, that wouldn't be something that I would just sort of, in one ear, not the other. So if I do hear about it, I'll certainly voice my support. Like I said, I don't even know if I'll be in that position, but if it comes to it, I certainly would. So,
well, we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well,
Right.
I've taken up,
Nothing.
Okay. I've taken up enough of your time. And I really appreciate the conversation. And I try and say this, I don't know if I say it every meeting, but I appreciate your service to the community and the time that you give us to talk about our stuff. So
Thank you very much.
Nice to hear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Have a great night. Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was sweet.
That was very nice. Yeah. Yeah. We have a lot more support than people are willing to admit.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, next on our agenda, we have presentations. I don't believe we have any. So then the next item would be review and approval of minutes. And I hope you received the minutes.
Did. I'll move to approve.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
We did change it. Sorry, we did change it so that Bonnie was included as the, okay, then yes,
Okay.
aye.
Okay. Next, we have the new business, and we just have one item, which is the OAC officer elections. And when I placed this on the agenda, I still thought that Bonnie would participate. She said she'd do her best to participate, but then I got a last minute email saying that it would be too difficult for her. It's a very special event. I don't know if she's videoing it or what, but she's not here. So I don't know if we want to table this, if we want to continue just with us three.
Well, I was thinking about this. Basically the positions that are vacant now will be the president and the secretary, correct?
Well, who's the vice chair?
Oh, and vice chair. So, and Lucia is treasurer. Bonnie's just filling in.
Alternate.
So,
So Lucia would be the only other voting member who's not present, or somebody, whether it would be Lucia or Bonnie, but there's only one other person who would vote who's not present. So we do have a board majority or council majority.
are you, April, are you interested in a particular position?
I am interested in the vice chair, if that is open. If, Charles, if you wanted to step into the, or lobby for the chair position, I'm interested in the vice chair position.
Okay, well, that's acceptable to me. I would take the president position for a year, or
Yeah, we do it annually.
right. Or I mean, I would commit to doing that if needed. This isn't something I particularly want, but I'll tell you that. So the liability for me is that I really don't know how to do all the Google stuff, and and Google Docs and the minutes and that kind of stuff.
So how about I propose that my skill is available to do those things. So if I'm as vice chair, that is basically an assistant position. I'm happy to assist and do the minutes and the or not, I don't know if we said minutes, but the agenda, embed links, all that stuff to put it up into the box, make it accessible. I'm more than able and willing to do all that as an assistant to the chair.
Well, that would be wonderful. And I would do the, I'll do the minutes.
Okay, that would be wonderful.
Okay, all right.
And then I also more than willing to commit to the 1 year to it. I mean, God forbid anything happened, but not from quitting, but from, some active nature where we don't have it, or something medical, whatever. But I also would commit for the entire year as well to do that. And then I would just basically be your assistant, or whoever the chair's assistant is, run a meeting if you're not available to do it, co-host a meeting if we did like last time, which I thought worked so well in terms of keeping track of time, being respectful of everybody having a say. I think that was just a really great way that we ran a meeting last time. So that's my proposal.
How's that sound to you, Aline?
That sounds great. I mean, I'm willing to commit to another year and stay on, basically because I was thinking about it. I did not know that Karen was gonna withdraw that, step down that day. That I thought she would stay on, and I think it's important for someone to have like a connection with the OCSD, where what we are doing is stated in public. I think that's just like, it's just for transparency, so that and not only that, so that the public can see and can hear what we're doing and what we're proposing. And so I will continue to do that, do our reporting back, and also reporting what the OCSD is talking about. So yes, it sounds good to me.
I very much appreciate that. And I think that me too. Having a person at the OCSD is a platform for more ample, oh, sure. What do you?
Yeah, I support this.
He's supposedly looking for votes with his sympathy cup. That being a part of the OCSD and in those meetings, it amplifies the OAC's presence and voice.
Absolutely.
So I absolutely am for Aline continuing to be the OCSD representative with the OAC, and that her giving it a year's commitment. I very much appreciate that.
So should we do nominations then?
Sure, I nominate Charles as the incoming chairman of the Oceano Advisory Council for the year's term.
Okay.
And I second.
discussion? No, I'm kidding.
Do we need more discussion?
No, I'm kidding.
I don't
All in
think so. We're
favor?
fine.
Aye.
I, okay, and I nominate April for the vice chair position.
I second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, congratulations on you too.
Strong as ever. Go
Okay.
OAC.
So, okay.
The Varney Dury administration is now official.
Now in a session.
Now both of you have to get
Hashtag.
along.
Right.
You know,
Oh
and
God,
again,
how's
we
power
always
feel, April?
we always come back to that we all want to do what's the best for Oceano.
Isn't
Period.
that's something that unites all of us?
All of us, whether we
Definitely.
disagree in a meeting or outside a meeting on occasion, we are for Oceano and not our own private pockets or interests, period. And that's what I respect about every member on the OAC.
You get down.
Yes.
So that was my nomination speech. Thank you.
Congratulations on you too. And I feel the same way. I completely respect everybody, anybody that serves for Oceano. I mean, we know we have no money and we're doing it basically because we love our community.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we're going to have a couple of people express interest in joining us. The kind of over the last, week and a half or so. We've had a lot more kind of presence, and I know I've gotten just kind of like personal emails from folks who are of the. I don't know what their ultimate politics are, but they are people who are like us, care about what is best for the community, not their personal interest. A lot of it comes up around just the notion of a flat tax versus a progressive tax.
Right.
And that has, like it did 2 years ago, and I think even more now, resonates with people.
But also people don't know that we are just freshly down a member. So until people know that, they don't even know to ask, like, oh, do you need somebody to fill in?
Right.
And
Right.
Karen did it quietly on the sly through an email and never did it publicly. So the public doesn't even know that she's gone until literally right now, other than the ones who are made privy to it that know.
So I have on my list that I didn't get to today, but to post on Nextdoor again, a recruitment notice of and maybe kind of building on, like, you see the sorts of things that Oceano Advisory Council is involved with for the betterment of our entire community, and we have room for more people to serve on the council who share that value. And just
Yeah.
maybe we'll get some people to step up.
And bear in mind, we have 3 people total who applied for the OCSD empty spot. And there's only 1 spot. So that leaves 2 people who say they want to be a part of our community.
Mm-hmm.
So there we have options, and we have a Facebook page, we have our website, we can put it front and center, as a landing page. So we have ways to get the word out there. We have the OCSD window, we have the library window, we have a lot of options to get the word out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next on our agenda, we have the old business, and that's the vacation rental ordinance that you wanted back. I think all of us are familiar with it, and we would love for it to happen. Shannon?
I think what I want to share with you is that I think we need to get this finalized. It won't be perfect, and then get it into the process where everybody's going to look at it and tear it apart or praise it, and get it moving forward. Get it to the planning department and get it going. And I don't think we need to really. So my suggestion is we need to in the document, there's a portion that talks about, here's some issues, different ways we could handle stuff. And, you know, we need to get public comment on this. I don't know how we're going to get more public comment on it until we actually just put out the document that here it is. My suggestion is that to keep it simple, and there'll be, certainly there'll be pushback, but that we, as our community is divided on the coastal commission side and then the land, what do they call it? Landward side. I mean, basically, you know, west and east of Highway 1, that we put we put a limit on vacation rentals of 100 west of 101 and no new vacation rentals on the landward side, on the east side of Oceano. That's real clear for people to understand. Definitely draws a line in the sand, no pun intended. And I think that puts us in shape then to, with that piece handled, to then, you know, I think we'll have to get with Shawnee. This is an aside here. At VACO, there was a representative from the planning department there. I don't know if she was just there for the what's that project, April, the apartment, what's that street, Belridge Street project?
Oh, right.
Remember the planning?
Yes, she's whatever planner for that project.
Okay, so she was there.
If that's what she was there for, yes.
Okay, yeah, so
Shawnee would probably be her supervisor.
yeah, we need a link in the planning department to send it to.
Like we had with Emmy, yes.
I think Shawnee, I knows, maybe has a recollection that we've been working on this. And the other, so that would be my suggestion of how we just kind of get off the dime and get this thing out on the racetrack, sort of out of the out of the hangar and down the runway.
Over to the campground that nobody uses.
Right.
I'm picking up what you're laying down, Charles. The one thing I would say is, what I would like to do before we really stick with any numbers at the moment is I'd like to do a real quick assessment by the next meeting and the meeting after, where I take the map and say, this is the actual number of residences on the coastal side of Oceano, and these are the known rentals on the coastal side of Oceano. And what is that percentage? Instead of just a flat 100, let's say, maybe we say 5% or 3% or 7%, but let's know what the percentage is now, because as people still continue to build, there are lots still in Oceano. Would that, how many are left to build? Would that change the percentage overall? If there's only 5 more lots to build, if we're already at 5%, we want to keep it at 5%, then 5 more houses wouldn't give any more vacation. So just kind of analyze the numbers one more time before is a suggestion that I have. And that really the reason I wanted on this agenda tonight was just for us to decide as a group, do we want to move forward? Because I had worked on it and other people had worked with me and we've come to some knowledge, but we kind of let it go because a multitude of reasons, with none of them bad, it just fell to the wayside at this point. So my thought was, let's put it on this agenda as a group, decide, yes, this is, or no, this isn't something we want to continue to pursue, and then put it in the front burner now that we've gotten pretty much as far as we can with the curbs, gutter, sidewalks, and some other projects at the moment. So was my hope tonight, was just for us to reach a consensus to say yay or nay, move forward. And if we say move forward, then that's what I'd like to do, is run a few more numbers, come back with a report that's more up to date, more concise, more useful. And then every time we have a meeting like this is giving the public a chance to speak up. That's exactly what this is. So it's up to the public to attend or not attend. And we could always hold in-person things, the OCSD office, back room, or the community center. We could do some more hands-on or face-to-face down the road. But for now, every time we have a meeting, the public is welcome to come. It's up to them to come. So that's all I wanted to add to it.
I think that's a great idea, April, the percentage, so that we can get an idea what, I don't quite remember, was it 70 something, the vacation rentals that are there now?
I want to say right now, the ones on the ocean side, the coastal side, is 84 currently that I found. And not all of them are permitted properly through the county like they're supposed to be. Several I found just through going on the Airbnb and VRBO websites, correlating the addresses and looking at the photos of the homes, and then comparing that to what the county shows as permitted, and finding these gaps. And the same on the true Oceano side, the residential side, where the rest of us live who don't own planes and $1 million homes, that there are many over here that also are not permitted that I found through doing the same thing. So I want to do one final sweep through and make sure, looking at current permitting and current Airbnb listings, to make sure that I have the most up-to-date current list going. But to answer your question, I want to say it was about 84 on the coastal side of total vacation rentals, where no resident gets to live, no local. And then I do not remember, it was a good sized number, maybe another 40 or 50 on this side. It was a good number.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was way.
It's been a year, so
16 or 18 or something like that.
it's been a year. So, and COVID and vacation tourism is booming in this town and every other town. So I can only imagine the numbers have gone up since then. So I'd like to get one final swoop.
Well, I mean, one of the things I appreciate about you, April, is that you have a great, you're very intelligent. You have a great mind for research, and you dig into this stuff. And this issue of the unpermitted vacation rentals is, I mean, it's separate from what we're talking about here, but it's
a different fire.
Huge. It's a big friggin' issue.
Mhm.
And it's one that, I think we have some kind of ethical obligation to do something with that. But I think we need to keep these separate.
Yes.
For the vacation rental aspect of it.
But I think it's a devil we should know, in addition to the project we're working on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I don't know if any of you were in any of the Cal Poly this last city regional planning, some of their presentations. I think you might have been, Aline. Do you remember when one of the students said that in their research they found that 20% of the houses in Oceano were vacant?
I recall, and I was like shocked.
Which is a huge number.
I was shocked.
I mean, relatively, 20% of the houses are not available for people to live in or rent, because they're
empty.
They're vacation rentals or Airbnbs or whatever you want to call them.
Or second homes or whatever.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Also, not empty, like truly empty. No one lives there, just not open to long-term rentals.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have one up my street where the couple is retired and they only come during basically like either it's like the summertime or maybe like a couple of weeks in the winter. They're gone the rest of them.
Yeah, my house across the street from me is that way. I mean, they're wealthy people from the valley, and those are, I mean, there's not much, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, it's their home. They're not, nobody's illegally renting it out,
Right.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, well then I'll look forward to that. And I'll go over the entire document again. and see if there's any cleaning up that could be done. And then,
And if you have these kinds of resources or places online where I can see that kind of information that you just stated, Charles, feel free to forward me any useful resources that, and Aline, obviously.
Yeah.
Any useful resources that you like I email you guys every so often when I see a different city is addressing the issue. You're welcome to send me anything on that stuff.
I was going to reach out to Kelly Main, the professor at Poly, and just ask her to connect me up with that student, because I don't, or give me their contact information.
Okay.
So I can, and I was thinking about that for us, for you,
Cool.
April. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
So next we got the curbs, gutters and sidewalks. I think we kind of filled us in on that, Charles. I don't know if you want to.
Well, I did, if there's any questions or observations anybody wants to share.
I did have a question because I was not aware. The last I heard anything was the Tuesday meeting at Baco. So anything that you spoke with the officer about regarding having been to some meeting or heard about some meeting, or Supervisor Compton being involved at this point now, that's all news to me. So if you have something I could learn more from that.
Yeah, well, that's news to me too. I mean, I just got that news about the meeting with Compton at 3:30 today on my way to the dog park.
Okay.
So there's I mean, there really, I don't know, I really don't know very much at all. I talked with John Waddell after the Slow Cog meeting. He called me up and basically just kind of repeated himself. And I listened. I told him that it was really, I mean, basically unacceptable the way this whole thing came down, that and I wanted to get to the bottom of it so that there would not be any opportunity of something like this happening in the future. Because at the Slow Cog meeting, where it was on the agenda, they let me see if I get this straight. At the conclusion of the discussion, the executive director of Slow Cog said that that their agency was committed to this grant, and that if it was not, we were not able to submit it this time, we would that Slow Cog would bring it forward in the cycle 7. This is cycle 6. Cycle 7 is the next one, and it would be submitted in cycle 7. That's a year and a half out. And the thing I said to Waddell is that if we end up with that cycle 7 thing, then we need to have a meeting where Slow Cog and the county are on the same page, and there are milestones and consultations so that basically nobody has an excuse that, well, we didn't know this or know that, because so that's still kind of nebulous. Stephen Hamamaikai told me that Lynn Compton is strongly supportive of it, and she wants to see if it can. She wants the grant to be submitted. So
In cycle 6.
yeah, in cycle 6.
That's
So the
very heartening to hear.
issue, April, is that with this like 4-day delay, what Slow Cog is saying is like, well, I don't know, we're not going to have time to get this other stuff together, which really concerns me because in my opinion, Slow Cog should be much further along and be able to say like, okay, well, we lost 4 days. That's going to put, that's going to put a bit of a, pressure on us. But, yeah, we can get this done. And when I hear Stephen Hamamaikai saying, it's like, oh, I think it's just like the window's shut, we're not going to be able to get it together. So my response to him was, well, but he said, but, I don't know, if we'll see what happens on Monday. So that's the big meeting.
Okay.
And, but and the backup is that by and large, most everybody sees it as everybody sees it as a valuable, meaningful project.
I certainly hope everybody does.
But as I was saying to Greg, this notion of like, well, we need to do a compare and contrast needs assessment, et cetera, et cetera. When that came up in the meeting, I said to the guy from the county planning, county public works, I said, geez, it's like, is 20 years enough time for, waiting for curb gutters and sidewalks? I said, I think everybody in this room knows that Oceano has been a neglected community. And I would think that it wouldn't be a question about Oceano having risen
If
to the
it
top of some priority list. I don't think it needs more research. It's been researched to death. Every one of those reports says we need this. Our people are sick and tired of being asked if what they need and not getting anything.
not get it. Yeah.
Right. So it
It
was a difficult meeting for me. It was a real difficult meeting for me to.
You put in so much work and gotten us this far. Absolutely. And I think it's safe to say that even member of OAC, I'm shocked, and the community, I'm sure, is so disheartened by yet again another example of where we're not even on a totem pole, let alone last. We're not even on it.
Right. Right.
So the one thing I do have concern about, having paid attention when Slow Cog was involved with the issue at Briscoe and Highway 101, that the more time passes, the more the cost balloons. And that's a concern of mine.
Well, and that's a concern of the county, and it's a legitimate one. And this grant needs to go in. I did the easy part of the writing, the history, the community outreach, the community engagement, the surveys, all of that kind of stuff. Well, from my perspective, much tougher stuff is like, how much concrete do you need?
Right.
What's the drainage design look like?
The math side, yeah.
Right, exactly. And what the guy from the county, one of the county guys said, which makes sense. He goes, 20 years ago when that drainage and flood control plan was written, drainage was a much easier kind of process. Now it's like the notion of drainage is, it's not like you get the water coming off of 19th and 17th streets and run it down to some basin and then shoot it into Arroyo Grande Creek. It's like you catch it up on 19th Street and you don't let it run down.
Right,
Like the retention basins and all of that stuff. And there's a big, that big project that's going in at the elementary school. They're putting big drainage retention basin underneath the playing fields. And I know OCSD is kind of leading on that. So I know she's real familiar with it. So it's more expensive and it's more sophisticated. And they're worried about like, well, and I'm worried too. It's like, well, how do you get, if the engineers aren't working on that now and haven't been working on it for a month,
and
how
incorporate.
the hell are they going to pull that rabbit out of the hat in 3 weeks?
Right.
So I think that's what Stephen Hamamaikai is worried about. And they don't, certainly Slow Cog they don't want to submit a grant to the ATP that's sloppy.
Right. Or lesser than, yes, I get it.
Right, or one that is, well, clearly is not going to be successful because it doesn't really address all of the issues. And then the county has their concerns about, like, if there's, seeing these grants, if there's an overrun, you don't go back to Caltrans or to
Right.
ATP to get the money. The county is on the hook for it.
For the difference.
So
Oh,
yeah, so that, I mean, I have empathy for that concern. And I think those may be the reasons at this point that they're going to say this isn't viable. And so for me, the concern is like SLOCOG dropped the ball. And I was working on the team. There's just 4 of us writing that grant. And I have a lot of respect for SLOCOG. So that's something that that team is meeting on Tuesday to do a little self-examination
Yeah.
on this.
wow.
Well, keep us posted, obviously, as usual. When you talked on Tuesday, it was clear. I mean, it affects all of us, but you really put so much effort and work into it, Charles, that it's got to be a shot to the heart in an emotional level as well. I fully respect that.
It is.
Mhm.
I'm
So,
sorry all that happened, Charles, because I really thought it was going to go through this time.
Well, I mean, I really have empathy for the
It's still, it's still,
That's the bottom line is,
Yeah.
I don't walk to school. I'll live. It's not right for our community. It's not right for our community.
Mm.
So we move forward.
okay. So I guess we're done speaking about this. Next, we have updates, action items. Updates and action items. My update is that I sent the updated bylaw changes we did last year. When was it? To Holly, and she put them in. She finally got them in. She had
I
issues.
wondered why the bylaws had a date of 5/2/22.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense now. Okay.
Yes. Because because when she took over, she couldn't get it in because I can't remember it had to be in a PDF. You can't, when you try to copy something that's on the internet, right? And you try to put it on the Google Doc, it don't work.
Okay.
So she wasn't able to do it. So I had to like put it into a PDF form and then send it to her. So that's that update that it's that change is done now.
Cool.
And
I have some updates on for her. Like I noticed that the calendar's not operational.
Yeah, it doesn't show the.
No, it doesn't show the meeting
for
date. I mean, I just noticed that, and I mean that was on the list for her to do. So that just slipped through the cracks on her side. So I'm gonna contact her tomorrow on that. Also,
Maybe if all of us just go real quick through the website and make a little list to throw to you. That
yeah,
is one.
that'd be that would be very helpful.
Okay.
is the vacation rental ordinance the draft up there? Maybe we
Yes,
should have
it's
that.
on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, another update, I guess, today's we were in the New Times today, both articles. So.
And the shredder.
And 3 articles.
Oh, really? The
I
shredder? I
know.
didn't see that one.
was
Yeah. Oh, Charles, you
hilarious,
were name
kind of
checked in the
annoying.
shredder. The 3 of us were the 3 musketeers, by the way.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I didn't
I
take
know.
it personally. I laughed. So, but yes. And the one on I don't know if you had a chance to read it, Charles, the airport one. She just, wow, I was amazed. She put our whole recommendation to the county in the article, incorporated in the article.
Yeah, I did
There,
see that.
and yeah, and it turned out really nice. So that. Oh, and also I got before I forget, that email I sent to you, Charles, you did contact that credit card place or the
Yeah,
agency?
well, I did, I think I wrote you that I've got a big pottery sale coming up over Memorial Day weekend. And I was messing with my Square, seeing if I could still functioning. And then this thing came through from Square
Space.
and I was the one that was spaced. So it's like, but then once I got it figured out, it was so
The
it had April's old your debit card.
Oh, okay.
And so that's
probably expired by now, yeah.
you know, they tried to charge against it, and obviously it didn't work. But
Gotcha. Oh, good to know.
I think when we changed out to Lucia, then I got, because I'm the other person that has access to the account from when I was treasurer. And so I have a debit card that expires 10/24. I went in, changed it out, and then confirmed with the bank that this card was active. Glad I did, because they said, oh, well, we have a record of you coming in to activate it. I went, oh, but it's not activated. And they go, no, I guess you didn't put the information in. I went, well, no, I came in to activate it, so I would have gone through the activation process. But so it is now activated, and
Good.
I assume that they will do another try. They said the money's due tomorrow. So I hope they'll try it and it'll work. So hopefully that's solved.
Yeah, I remember trying to activate mine. It made no sense. The hoops they made us jump through for activation of the card.
Okay.
I didn't understand, but fingers crossed you've got it. I know the website's up and running today, so.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to, sorry, real quick, throw in an update. The beautification award is something we shelved for a period of time. Karen was going to do some research and never did. So my suggestion is I would like to revisit that and make that a thing again.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's still as important and viable as it was before, and I'm happy to. I think the last that we left it at was we were trying to figure out what an award would look like, and she was going to go find historically what they used to look like, but we don't need that. That's not going to be anything. I just need to find a good template that has an award that looks decent, that we can present to these businesses and or homes in the community. So I can do that by our next meeting, have something mocked up for review. If you want to put that on.
Consider it, that'd be great.
Okay.
You want to consider an eyesore award?
Oh, I can name a few. Yeah.
On a positive note on that one,
I think it's about this shaped and we call it a park.
That vacant lot, like right on the curve.
Yes.
You know,
The one that's for sale and. Yeah.
Right. The Allen Realty, the one that Vaco did the cleanup on, you know, a
Yes,
year ago.
the billboard property. Yes. They just use it to promote whatever matters to them. Yeah.
I called Allen Real Estate. Actually, I ended up calling them twice because they didn't, and the request was the same, that they clean the property up, that it's an eyesore right here in downtown Oceano. And after the first call, the person I talked to was really kind of like snippy. I said, well, this is the deal. Nothing happened. I called back, talked to a different person, and said that I was with the Oceano Advisory Council, and we'd like to have, you know, keep the things looking as nice as we can downtown, and that lot's all overgrown, and would they be willing to, you know, get it cleaned up? He goes, well, you know, we don't own that. We're just a real estate agent. I said, oh, I understand that, but I thought, you know, as the agent, it would be in your interest to have people to be able to see the lot. Plus, you can contact the owner. And 2 days later, that thing was all cleaned up. And so I called him back and said, hey, I just wanted to thank you on
Nice.
behalf of the Oceano Advisory Council. The woman I talked to was so pleased that they got a thank you for doing the right thing. So, I mean, they did the right thing.
Nice.
So that's just sort of a nice story.
Very
Wow.
nice.
Mhm.
Well,
think
thank
I know
you.
that
Wow.
The one other thing that the lot that's on the beach side of 101, that is basically the storage yard for the gardening business and all the crap that some guy has there, you know, I mean, it's the huge eyesore. And it has a fence around it. If that guy would at least put, you know,
Flowers.
shade cloth. I don't think flowers. I don't know what water they have, but shade cloth along the front of that, so at least it's
somewhat hidden.
You'll next time you drive down there, take a look over at it. I mean, it's just a massive junk storage yard. There's like old cars in there. There's pipes. There's.
Are you talking the one that's like by Central Market somewhere or by Povey?
The one behind Figueroa Tire.
No, it's right. It's on the beach side of Highway 1, past the packing sheds going north.
Oh, I know where you mean.
Yes, that's
Almost like where the old card room, across the road from the old card room.
Yeah, down
yep.
there. Yeah.
Oh, it is an ugly.
Yeah. It's ugly. It's ugly. I mean, that would be a nice piece
Terrible.
of property to
card-
buy.
The card room is terrible too. They
Right.
haven't-
Yeah.
there's various things down there.
But I do agree with Charles. There's like a plumbing trucks are over there. Just it's a
There's
junkyard.
like 5 cords of firewood.
Mhm. It's
Um,
literally just a junkyard on
Yeah, so
Highway 1.
I mean, it's the guy's property. It's probably what he's doing is legal, but at least it could be since he has a fence all along there, you could put up that 90% shade cloth along there and it would. You even have something like pretty shade cloth. I don't know.
You know, the recycling plant or center, that little place by the coffee shop, they were required to put in plantings to create a visual barrier. So it's not like the county or, you know, planning department or whoever, that these agencies don't have the ability to enforce things or require rules of things. Maybe it just is a matter of the community saying, we want this.
I think that when somebody that came in as a condition of them getting a permit because they changed out, and that's when everything comes up, when you make some change. So it's like, okay, now we can get you to do other stuff. I don't know if you can just come in. It'd be more kind of just actually kind of nicely suggesting to the guy, like, you know, would you be willing to do that? And he could go, hell no. And okay.
So.
Okay, I'm sorry I went on and on about that.
No, that's okay. So you're keeping track of what we're going to put on the future agenda, Charles? If you write the agenda or make it up, then I will put it in PDF format. I'll do the links. I'll do all that stuff.
Right. Yeah, I have a few notes here.
Okay.
And Aline,
I'll send you what I wrote down.
okay, great, thank you.
Cool.
Both of us could like.
And then would you, I don't know, how much, is it a time suck for you to post the video on YouTube?
Oh, no, I enjoyed that. That's like one of the things I really enjoy.
Then you'd be willing to continue posting the video?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you.
And then sometimes when I don't get it on my notes, I just go watch that section of the video.
Yeah, it definitely helps for a resource. And Aline, if there's a time that you want me to sit with you one time and learn how you do it so that you have backup if you ever go on vacation or anything happens, I'm happy to do that as well.
Cool.
Okay. And also just on the updates, I had Grant and I think her name is Allie from the EcoSlow, right? The tree project. They I'm emailing them because I'm going to email them again because they want to present again. asked them about a flyer, and they said, we want to talk to you, go again and present, because they have, I guess, more trees and more requirements. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah,
But
they've got to
I
review
just
them.
got it. I think, I don't know if I forwarded it already to you, but yeah. So they want
You
come
cut
back.
out, Aline. What?
When I
You
come
cut
back,
out. Say again.
You're
Charles?
cutting out, Lily.
oh, I don't know why. But yeah, they want to come back to one of our meetings.
They
I would
sort of
love to hear more
modified it
about that.
recently. They have a different list now of trees. They're modifying that. And this came out of asking them to make up a poster that we can put on our website specific to Oceano.
Mhm.
And Oceano School wants some trees.
Mhm.
There's sidewalks by Oceano School with tree spaces,
Well,
and there's nothing in them.
Yeah. So we'll just keep in contact, and maybe they can come to our next meeting. I don't know if they don't have to be the regular meeting, but maybe the meeting before that, because they take a lot of time. They do large presentation. Okay, so I think that done with the updates, right?
cool. Yep.
And so we have the treasure report. Lucia's not here. Bonnie's not here. I don't think we've had any expenses, right, Charles? So
No, and I
Just had
think
the $210, I think, for the Squarespace that'll be showing up.
okay.
so we're right around $2,000, I think, in their checking account. Somewhere in that, based on the last I saw of a report. So we definitely have money. We're doing well. Thank you, Charles.
Okay, then we have the OBCA report, and I guess I could do that. We don't have, Lucia's on vacation, so we're not doing much.
Mhm.
So I guess the last event that we had was a very successful meeting, and thank you, Charles, for attending. We had several candidates running for office. We had Don Adams, Jimmy Paulding at our meeting, and am I missing somebody else that we had at our meeting? I can't think of it right now. I thought we had another elected official.
Dawn Ortiz, she didn't show up.
No, she didn't show up. Yeah, I think, was it just Don and Jimmy?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, but we had other members from the public, and it was a very nice meeting. We did our presentation, our updated presentation of what our vision is of the vehicle-free Otis VRA. Is what we did. So, and basically we are just on vacation with Lucia being gone. My report. Next is my report, I guess, and that would be the OCSD, and on the meeting on the fire tax, which Charles attended. I don't know. I don't remember you being there, April, but
No, I was not.
yeah.
Still
So,
back surgery then.
oh yeah, that's right. Hopefully you're doing good. We did have the county representative there. He really didn't answer much of the questions that we wanted to answer, which is basically how much it's going to cost and where they're going to get the funds from. Basically, all he said was that they would not provide full-time fire services without getting monies from other sources that and they didn't know what exactly where they were going to take these funds from. So kind of that was like, okay, why not? Tomorrow we are having the appointment for the vacant office, the vacant board position. And so the 3 members will be there. It'll be tomorrow at 3 o'clock in person.
Just so you're aware, as a representative of the OCSD, Aline,
Mhm.
I, as you know, I submitted an application as well, and I asked the OCSD to provide me confirmation that they received it. To this day, no one's ever gotten back to me and told me that they even received my application. And also, being part of the agenda for tomorrow, I was never notified that this meeting was happening or that what it's for, anything. Only because I pay attention in my community do I even know. So I just like the OCSD and you as a representative to be aware that if someone's going to be on the agenda, wouldn't it be really respectful to invite them or make them aware that they're even on the agenda?
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure I saw an email with your, like it was sent to us saying that you're one of the applicants, but.
Right, to you, yes, but not to me, the actual applicant who will be, should be in attendance to a meeting that was never notified about. That's my point. I was never even notified that there is a meeting tomorrow that I'm on the agenda about.
Okay, well, hopefully you will be there.
Right, but hopefully in the future, the OCSD and you as a representative will hear the public and understand that if you put people on an agenda, it's only respectful to let them know they're on the agenda.
Yeah.
That was my point.
Mhm. Yeah, I think there was, I don't know, they were rushed and confusion because
We
they
can make
called me
excuses,
at
but
the,
we don't know.
yeah, they called me and they said they needed to, because of the way policy was that it couldn't be at the next meeting, it had to be beforehand. So that's why we're having a special meeting. So that was like, originally they had told us it would be at our next regular meeting, but because it can't be because of the timeline. So
If you follow places like the San Simeon CSD and what they're going through currently and how they borked it on meeting the time frame for getting a representative, you'd know exactly why this is happening, but that's why it's happening is because there's a time constraint. And because San Simeon's going through this, I think Oceana was made aware that they needed to get this handled because they weren't minding their own business. So, but again, I would just like to reemphasize that if a person is on an agenda, that it'd be really helpful for the agency to notify the people that they're on an agenda. That's my point.
Yeah, like, okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad you found out and you will be present. Okay. Also at the last regular meeting, the good news was from our Will Clemens, our general manager. He stated that the Board of Supervisors did approve our grant, our block grant, community development grant is the name, for our water tank. So we'll be receiving $225 for it. So that was a bit of good news.
Mhm.
We need all the money we can get.
And he's also applying to get more monies from Prop 1 and from our Congressman Carbajal, who's also providing grants for disadvantaged communities. So hopefully we'll get like more monies from them. That's about it.
Cool.
And maybe we should go to Congressman Carbajal with our proposal for curb gutters and sidewalks and just get
Disadvantage.
one of those pork barrel, special authorization from Congress for $100 million.
Maybe we should.
Yeah.
The worst they can say is no, and Lord knows we've heard that enough.
So I'll see you there tomorrow, April.
Where?
Person.
Charles, did you just tune out to the last 7 minutes of our
No,
meeting?
I don't know. No, I went.
The OCSD is having a special meeting.
What's happening tomorrow? Am I not invited?
No, I'm barely invited.
The OC at the special.
They're gonna choose a man to be on the OCSD tomorrow.
Oh, that tomorrow's a special meeting for that?
Yes, for that only, yes.
Okay, well, what time is that?
3 o'clock.
Okay.
So Charles is probably thinking it was in the future because we had mentioned in our other meeting, I believe that it was going to be at the next regular meeting. So maybe Charles.
That's what I thought. Yeah, okay.
Well, that's what it was supposed. That's what we thought too. That's what I thought.
Okay, well. Yeah, I have something planned, but it's not till 4, so I can probably.
Oh, it's gonna be a 7-minute meeting,
I'll
trust
tune
me.
in, yeah. Move to adjourn?
Second,
All those in favor?
aye, aye, aye.
Press end.
Blue.
Bye.
All righty. Good night.
Good night.